I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Episode 9.
We're here.
We're here.
Yes.
Episode 9, baby.
What?
I'm glad I'm here. 9 episodes in. I was blind. So
man.
excited.
Is it though? Is it though?
Oh my God. Man, the trajectory of this show has taken me on a ride. I went from like, to loving it to just, I don't even know where we're
Wow, look
at.
at the emotional range you went through.
I know.
Wow.
There's a lot.
I'm amazed that it's been such a big uptake by the fans out there. Quite honestly, I've been amazed by the reaction and how well it's done for Netflix. I mean, great. And I mentioned this to you guys when we were watching this episode in the truck. My friend Lanisha, who co-hosts Married at First Sight with me, she made a really astute observation, also a great show, that we here, especially at AfterBuzz and whatever, we watch a ton of these reality shows, especially you and me, right? A lot of these relationship stuff. So to us, this isn't very novel. But people who have cut the cord, don't have cable, don't have all this stuff, and they do have Netflix, this is a little bit newer for them. So I think that might be helping Netflix out a lot with the show.
That is a really great point. Shout out to
It was like me. I was Lanisha Fisher.
Shout out to Lanisha Fisher for that take. But we're going to get into our takes on this episode tonight. So let's go ahead and introduce the panel, get you comfortable and familiar with us if you're tuning in for the first time. Welcome. This is AfterBuzz TV, and you're watching the Love is Blind after show. I'm your host, Christine Alexis. And I'm not doing this alone. I've got two of my favorite guys. I've got someone who, you know, was more interested in WWE, some wrestling, that world, and we pulled him in to our reality TV fandom. Please give it up for Flobo Boys.
I would say that there's a lot more arguments by the pools in these kinds of shows than in WWE, but I'm still going to be a part of it. I'm a newbie at romance, but not about reality television, so it kind of all go together.
Love that. Love that journey for you. Yeah. And we have someone who is not a newbie at reality TV. Especially these love shows. I mean, I couldn't think of anyone else better besides Flobo to break down this show with me than Mike Feeling.
Christine, you just got back from New York.
I sure did.
Did you have a fun time?
I really did.
Did you meet anybody across through a, solid wall that you could only talk to and then become engaged and fall in love?
Pod?
You know, I went out and there was this guy who was talking to me from behind a unisex stall telling me, are you in there? That was about the most...
Are you serious?
I'm totally joking.
Yeah,
oh, man. I thought that up on the way over here. I was like, I'm going to get Christine on there. That would be
got you guys, though.
8 stalls.
Imagine. We fell in love behind a bathroom stall wall. I mean, it can happen,
It's a New York
guys.
story,
talk for
sure.
hours
As long
and
as
hours and
there's a
hours.
partition, it's going to lead to love.
Here we go. That's the way to do it.
Totally joking. But
What's up, guys?
These couples are not joking. They're getting serious, guys. We're down to the wire. You like my transition?
I love the transitions. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, we gotta keep it moving. Even though we are getting down to the wire, we did say off air that this episode felt more of like a setup episode.
True.
Because the finale is after this, so we had to kind of line everything up for the drama that is to come.
We should just give kind of final thoughts on
we
each
definitely
couple and see where we think they're going to end up for the finale.
True.
For sure.
But I want to say that for an episode called The Bachelor Party, it was kind of quick. The whole Bachelor
Weak
Party.
Bachelor
night.
parties. So this was fun, though. We really schooled Flobo on what Bachelor and Bachelorette parties.
Because I had no idea.
Well, no, you've been to Bachelor parties.
I've been to Bachelor party,
but definitely Bachelorette parties.
Right.
These were weak Bachelor and Bachelorette parties.
Yeah.
Weak.
Yeah.
Before we get into our final thoughts on these couples, we definitely have to spend some time talking about those parties because I was under the same impression. I thought we were going to get...
Let's go.
No holds barred, just wild things happening. But I will say we did get some really good telling conversations at the Bachelor party tonight.
But the cop came on the woman's bus fully dressed and didn't strip. Like, what's the point of that? Some dude just dressed up as a cop? Like, they're supposed to strip. Like, that's not a Bachelorette party.
That's you're very disappointed about this cop who didn't strip.
Yeah, like, these girls just went through reality TV show, like, boot camp, hardcore, emotional roller coasters. They don't even get a real Bachelorette party.
Fair.
Let's go. The guys kind of played fake. Like we said, this is totally set up by the production. You cannot gamble in a random bar out and about.
Art
Right?
galleries?
Where they live? Atlanta?
Atlanta.
Right. I don't think there's gambling and just these random. So
art
it's
gallery
either
gambling.
this illegal art gallery gambling syndicate or whatever. They just set it up. They didn't go to a strip club or anything. I mean, come on. It's Netflix. We can go there.
It's true.
Yeah, but we're also living in this just...
Mark deserved more for what he's been through.
God.
He deserves a real bachelor party. Not his friend. I got it, guys. His friend. Not sibling, his friend. Not his friend giving him another weird lecture in front of the Brillo box or whatever
that was
it was.
Weird.
Yeah.
It did seem like there was like a production budget and like, oh crap.
We need a bachelor party.
Dang, you guys are hating hard on this
Not an art
party.
gallery.
Yeah,
Throw a poker table in there.
Art gallery.
Well, it was nice because, their friends and family were able to be there with them and kind of...
Christine makes the lighter side of all that.
I have to, though. I got to balance it out a little bit.
Appreciate you.
But since, we're going to... There were some final dates before these parties, but since we're talking about the parties, let's just go ahead and get right into it. And talk about my favorite part of the bachelorette party because, no surprise here, Jessica gets wasted, guys.
Crazy.
Wasted.
Crazy.
She's not the only one, though. Amber is very visibly drunk. She's waxing poetic about her love for Barnett several times in a confessional.
Snorting.
I felt weird about this because I feel like there was some, SAT word, asynchronicity going on. I believe that's the right word. Because it seems like when Jessica accosted Amber, Amber was not as drunk as when she was doing her ITM like outside the club.
Right.
I feel like some time had passed and they liquored her up a little bit more, and then she, maybe they were like, let's really hear.
Yeah.
Because I don't think sober Amber would allow Jessica to kiss her like that.
I'm just saying, I think she was much drunker in the interview than when she was being accosted. That's just what it seemed like to me.
I agree with Mike there. She was like a little
Not that it
past buzz
matters,
at sitting down, but her confessional was
But
like,
Jessica was way gone. Yet again, hasn't learned the lessons from the past 3 episodes or whatever,
Not
I guess.
at all. Jessica decided to give herself a little liquid courage to say whatever was left on her heart about a situation that ended weeks ago.
Nothing wrong with liquid courage, man. But that scene was so
Yes.
uncomfortable to watch. It was just like who's going to snap whose neck first. But they were so drunk at the same time.
It was so oddly tense, and it was like, but if you had, I would destroy you. And they're kind of close to choking each other. I don't know. Why do that? Do that around your friends, but not the participants in this show that you were in love with her fiance. And now, I don't know, do you guys buy how supposedly into Mark she's trying to make everybody believe she is?
Not at all. It's clear that Jessica is trying to convince herself, first and foremost, than us, because as viewers, it's so painfully obvious that she's jealous. She doesn't know how to handle her emotions. We've seen it all season long, that she's unraveled, kind of put herself back up together again, unraveled a little further. Yeah. And then it's just all leading up to this breaking point, which is why, we're going to talk about this later with predictions for next episode, how that shakes out. That would be a doozy.
This is very akin, again, actually, it's very strange. This week's episode of Married at First Sight had a lot of parallels with Love is Blind. The same thing is going on with this other couple where this guy, Zach, he straight up just he's not attracted to his wife, right? Because they are married. And I'm saying the whole time, it's fine. It's okay. You don't have to be attracted to everybody. Just because these experts matched you up or you like what they had to say in the pods, you're not attracted. Also, oddly enough, on Married at First Sight, couple got in a fight over the one's use of social media, just like Giannina and Tamian did. It's very strange this week.
It's a very cool parallel, but I think we have this pressure we put on ourselves to not be seen as shallow or vain. Like, here's an example. A couple years ago, I had enough money to get like the most plain Jane sedan car to get me around, and I didn't really like it, but it was one I could afford. It was like gunmetal gray, and I'm driving around and like I'm all embarrassed. And every time I want to complain about it, everyone was like, "At least you got a car, player." So you're like, fine, I guess. But deep down, I know I wasn't into it. So you have someone you're with, you're going out with, you're marrying, and you're not really feeling it. It feels kind of like, you put it in someone's face, you'd be like, I'm not really feeling him. I think he's okay. He's not the best sexually, but he's all right. I think it's all compromises. And that's
so grass is greener kind of thing?
Yeah, grass is greener type thing.
I definitely see that point, but at the same time, like, despite the parameters of this experiment, you can always walk away. It's always a choice. Regardless of how other people feel about it, it's still your choice to make. And if you decide to flip it, you know what? Yeah, everyone's giving me, a pat on the back because I got a whip, but this ain't the whip that I want.
Right.
That's okay too. That is okay too.
Yeah.
What is not okay is, I guess, for you day to day to just suffer in that car if you're not happy.
True.
Translate this to Love is Blind. My thought is, Jessica, you should have walked away from this experiment. Like, point blank, period.
Yeah,
we keep coming back to this thought because you're just so obviously settling, and this cannot be easy to be watching this back. Let's say for hypothetical sake they did get together. How the hell do you move past this?
Yeah. When you see all this stuff. Plus, let's switch to another couple real quick. We're going all out of order, so whatever, right? Lauren and Cameron. We've loved Lauren this whole time, but the whole beginning of this episode, they're really putting doubts into our mind if she wants to go through with this. They go to that really cool bamboo forest treehouse thing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But she's kind of seeming, she's not giving him really straight answers. Am I definitely going to say yes? And we're getting this doubt. And this is obviously set up with the show to make us like, wow, I can't believe it. He's so perfect, da-da-da. And we did the same thing on Married at First Sight again. I like to bring everybody back to reality. These people just met each other. There's really no reason they should be crazy in love with each other. It's totally cool. They're obviously attracted to each other. They like each other. The sane right way is to have this friendship and build into a relationship. It's not weird that Lauren is just like, of course I'm gonna marry. You know, it's totally makes sense. Let's take this slow. Let's see what's gonna happen.
Right.
Because that's like how real people are when you're falling in love.
I don't know. I think the difference here is that she doesn't say, I need time to think about it. It's like, I'm definitely kind of sort of leaning towards yes,
well,
perhaps.
she doesn't have to. They're on a strict timeline, right?
Yeah.
They don't have time to think about it.
They are on a timeline, and while I agree, I think, you know, having those doubts are natural. It's just... the editing is, you know, leading us to believe this too. It is very telling that Lauren, who's been very transparent and open about her feelings all season, kind of is only now really giving us that sense of doubt that she may not officially say yes in the end. Mind you, they're already engaged, so like it's weird kind of how there's so much emphasis put on like still saying yes again versus like she's already said yes. The engagement is the fact that you are going to say yes.
Right.
But we need a little drama. We need a little, you know.
Sure. The thing about this that gets me isn't the fact like, oh, like the Mark Jessica situation. You know, Mark is younger. He looks a certain way. He's not attracted to. I'm not attracted to Mark. But with Cameron, he checks all the boxes. It's just her saying, okay, I'm afraid marriage as a construct will impact my independence. Well, I'm not sure. It doesn't matter if it's Cameron or somebody else. It could be the same problem.
Or they're just building up some drama to build it up for us somehow. I don't know.
I mean, I'm more inclined to believe that they are going to work it out for the simple fact that we've had a couple of pump fakes with Lauren thus far, especially with her dad.
Oh, yeah.
Us thinking that was going to be, you know, a big thing. I mean, you know, now that we talk about it, I want to switch gears and talk about Kelly and Kenny because they've also been super flying high. I wonder if they're going to surprise us too.
And out of nowhere, it comes out that she's actually not amazingly physically attracted to him.
But the writing was on the wall, man. What? The writing was on the wall, dude. You have
Globo.
Wow.
This couple was good together, and they had a good chemistry, like a good friendship would be with benefits. But every single time they was like, hey, let's have like the physical part of it. It was no. Then it was I want to get time to build.
She could
someone.
never get it. Yeah.
And then it was like, well, I'm willing to wait in time to build, but it's like, well, your reasons being was in the past I did it too quickly, but I want to show where it's all about being quick. Yes. But like having sex with you was kind of weird to me.
That Kelly decided that?
That was her reasoning for not deciding.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I don't know. They decided from jump that they were gonna wait. I mean, he did say yes to it.
Sure,
too.
he did agree to it.
But that conversation she had with her friends, I wrote down was very interesting because her friends pointed out that Kelly she doesn't pick the right guys. She's had bad luck with picking.
Bad picker.
She's a bad picker. Right. So that to me was like, I'm like, damn, is this foreshadowing either that she's gonna back out or maybe there's something about Kenny that we haven't learned yet that we might learn, I don't know, between now and next episode?
Maybe.
I mean, a personal thing, I think they should have sex before they get married. That's just my thing.
Personally, yes, I agree.
If you're 100% actually taking this seriously and you think you could be getting married to someone for the rest of your life, unless it's your, religious belief or personal belief to I'm definitely not going to have sex before I'm married, then, she has in the past, she's more serious seemingly about him than anybody else, and she's willing to possibly get married. You should probably try it out.
I don't know. That's. I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Giannina and Damian because they've also had some interesting things happen with their sex life and butterflies being lost and found again.
You're so the shade, dude. The butterflies or whatever.
This poor guy is about to explode. His head is about to explode.
But
I mean,
his eyes are popping
Damian
out of his
spent
head.
this whole episode
crying.
Prior to their wedding day. Well, no, not only crying, but he went above and beyond to show Giannina that he still cares about her. He planned this extravagant date. It was very bachelor-esque, if you ask me.
Yes, the helicopter,
and
yes.
We had a helicopter ride. We had a private chef come through.
What was his name?
Chef Isaac.
Chef Isaac. Chef Isaac was there.
Back of his head was there.
Terrifying stalker in the house when they weren't there. That's
Guys,
creepy.
I need a personal chef, okay? I would not be mad at that.
For sure, but I want to see his face. That was so creepy. But you were saying.
Jesus.
Well, Christine threw the immediate shake. She was like, it looks like he just cooked steak.
I could do that.
Oh, I saw
Chef Isaac's got to bust it out for real if you're going to hire him. Come on.
Right. Yeah, I need more than some red meat and some sauteed greens. I mean, it was good, but I need a little more.
So what's the chef got to do? Truffle mac and cheese?
Poor Chef Isaac.
See, now you're talking truffle mac and cheese.
Chef Isaac did nothing wrong. He just got cast to come on the show.
You know what? He did nothing wrong. wrong, and he served a purpose, which was to set the mood and get these two to start talking about their feelings again. Yeah. And man, Giannina, I gotta give it up to her because this episode she put on a masterclass in acting. And
man, how is it acting? Why cannot she feel the love and adoration for her mate?
Why do you hate her so bad?
Yeah, why do you hate her so bad?
Okay, listen, I gave their relationship, I think, a fair shot. But towards the last few episodes, I think my patience has just worn thin with Giannina. It feels like this is just like a whirlwind romance for her that could very easily end with her just moving on to someone else, except she's in this experiment and she's already said yes to an engagement. Yeah. Like, if this was outside of these parameters, like, I totally see her just having her fun and then ditching him when he gets boring.
It's absolutely a possibility, but what makes her more than the other couples there? That's because it is such a truncated timeline. It could be a whirlwind for anyone there. Why is that spidey sense going off for Giannina?
I don't like that it's constantly brought up that she's put him through kind of the paces, and it doesn't seem like she is apologetic or feels bad about that. It's just kind of like, yep, I gave you a really hard time and you just soaked it up like a sponge. I was like, yeah, that's great that he's understanding, but you shouldn't have done that stuff in the first place. Like, that's the real kind of root of the problem. And we said, you're going to be a punching bag the rest of your life. If she doesn't recognize, don't do this. Don't fly off the handle.
The only time she even seemed remotely remorseful was when her parents came to visit, and she kind of had a moment in the kitchen where she broke down, and she was like, I've been so terrible to you.
Right.
So I would give the girl points that she's a little bit self-aware.
That's true.
But I did want to bring it up for the simple fact of just asking you guys as men, considering everything Damien did for her this episode, and how you just said she put him through the ringer, should she be doing more at this point to validate his feelings and be making him feel more confident in where they're headed?
You're asking me personally or the panels on the show? Because on the panels on the show, I'm like, well, it's good TV to do it the way they do it. But like, yeah, if you're with someone, it's always good to show and prove. But what does that look like? As a man or as the other person in a relationship, you have to say what you want. Whether or not you explicitly say it, you can say, I like it when you do this. Encourage someone because they're just getting to know you. But if Damien's not doing that, he's not being that squeaky joint, he's not going to get the oil.
Do we think he's challenged her enough? Because she's clearly challenged him.
That's my point. I think that one time that argument in the gym, it was kind of like, okay, he started it with his music or whatever, but no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Mike?
He talked it up to his boys like he did. Like, yeah, I told her what's up, and now I was like, really, dude? Well, I don't think so, man. You're wrapped around, and that's fine. If he wants to be wrapped around her finger, he's obviously infatuated her. She's gorgeous. The bedroom stuff is on point for him, at least, as we keep getting it brought up. Not for her, but whatever. He's really happy. So if he's found happiness in that and he's cool being kind of knocked around a little bit, you know what I mean, or whatever, and kind of taking that...
That's terrible.
Abuse. I think some people like that. I really do. I think some people like
having someone be the alpha, and they're
the tension, the drama. People like that, and they like being the one to actually calm that other person down and kind of bring it back. So if that's the kind of person he is and he likes it, then great, go for it, man. As long as he's happy.
It just seems so exhausting.
It does to me.
Goddamn.
I wouldn't want it.
Well, I mean, dating is, but that's just not a side point.
Definitely. Now, before we get into their wedding day, because they're the only wedding we do see, I want to spend a moment to talk about Jessica and Mark a little bit more, because they also had like a little, final dinner date this episode. Jessica was a messica. How could we forget? Yeah. Lauren with the line of the night. Jessica is a messica. Oh my God. But Jessica is a messica because, again, we...
Look at me. See me. I know you.
It's like a movie villain.
Dude, you gotta stop.
Oh God.
Yikes.
She, tells Mark. she really just opens up about her commitment issues, like saying that she's either pursued dead-end relationships because she knows that it couldn't get there, or ran away from relationships that were getting there because the idea of commitment was too much for her.
Right.
Which I found it so interesting that she brought this up now, because we've met her thus far as someone who's been dying for commitment, who wanted to get married so bad after all these years.
Yeah.
And again, she just confuses the heck out of me.
That's actually more common than you give her credit for. I guess what I'm seeing now on the outside, in singledom, there's people that have these ideas of what they want, this checklist in their minds. But then there's also, someone broke through those first line of defense. I'm not ready for this. I'm going to peace out too. So I'm really that dynamic. It's just the fact that it's a mess from Jessica.
It's realistic, but it's also like you're confusing the hell out of me, girl.
She is Messica. No,
Messica's whole thing, this whole show, has been that he's too young. Are you sure you want to commit? But then she's talking about she runs away from commitment. That doesn't make any sense. She hangs out with her friends and she's like, guys, I just want you to get ready for this. He's only 24. And they're like, oh, cool. Like, that's not it. And I feel like she's dying inside for someone to be like, whoa, you cannot be with somebody that young. And everybody hands down is like, oh, that's great. Like, then no problem.
Because she's the only one who feels that way. And she wants someone to validate that for her. But this is her choice to make. And she's just... it just feels like she's phoning it in. I don't know.
And just like we said, every time she says anything about this, it sounds more like she is validating it or trying to reinforce it within herself, or convince herself than actually find out what anybody else thinks about it.
I would say, for the record, I do agree with you. She's been a mess. She's been all over the place. But her saying that she runs away and that kind of stuff, it's like par for the course for me. But I did think you're right.
Yeah. I mean, I like that you're remaining kind of neutral with this.
Hey.
Definitely need that.
Hey, you're back for season 2.
I'd say maybe she will be on season 2. It's just another thing. Again, I know I kick a dead horse. I just repeat myself. She just doesn't like him, and it's fine.
I can't see Jessica doing this again. I can't believe you even just casually mentioned she would be on season 2. Oh, my Lord.
The producers can.
And I'm sure they want her to.
Back in the pod, Jessica.
Back in the pod.
We've stocked the wine cabinet.
Well, hopefully, if they do bring Jessica back.
I love you.
I mean, they're not the ones doing the matching here. But hopefully she'll match with someone she's a little more physically attracted to, because it took us how long for her to admit that now she and Mark are physically intimate with each other? I like how we casually got that on the sly in this episode.
It wasn't convincing at all. It was like, yes. It was like totally having sex with Mark. Totally.
You could almost blink and miss it, the fact that she said that.
It's cool. It's tough. I think she probably wasn't, to be totally fair, I like making fun of her, but she's probably a really nice person. A lot of this stuff... People aren't ready for reality TV a lot of times, and cameras, and all of a sudden the intimate thoughts and stuff that's just in your mind, they've got to come out, and then she's probably nervous and stuff, and she's drinking too much, and then that makes it even worse. So she's gonna have like kind of a rough go of it. So
I can't imagine how this must be watching it all back.
It's gotta be really rough.
Maybe to your point, she might want to do over then. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, I think deep down she's not a bad person, and to that point, I think the whole thing of her sticking with it and not just being like, you're short, I'm not attracted to you, I'm out, is her being a nice person and trying to kind of go, I really do. Yeah, I think so. And I think the same thing for Married at First Sight with Zach. I think he's trying to be a nice person and not be like, hey, Mindy, I'm not attracted.
I'm not going to reward somebody for that, though.
I know, but I feel bad when we do after shows and we completely trash people. I feel bad because I
feel great.
I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, and it's usually never as bad as it appears on TV, right? Everything's amplified. That's all I was saying.
No points for Jessica?
Well, just the way you said that, like as if, oh, she's being nice, like she stuck it out. It's
I don't think it's right.
Now, it might be nice, but I don't want someone to be nice to me about our future. Like, no. Be real, and I will respect that more than anything. I would have rather, been a Rory and just omit it altogether.
No, but are we gonna bring that news story up? Actually,
we didn't officially submit some news and gossip, but we do have some news that's come out since the show.
Producer J-Lo on the
drop.
Wow.
So one of our amazing viewers, shout out to you. I don't have it pulled up at the moment.
I'm going to find it right now. You
on
keep
Twitter,
going. Yeah.
Yes, sent us an article, I believe, by Entertainment Weekly that was just, a full interview with Rory, who we saw bits and pieces of this season, but never got to see his full story. As it turns out, he did meet and fall in love with someone on the show, and he wasn't the only one who had this happen and get cut from the episodes that eventually aired.
This was tweeted at us originally by Shan, at ShanFrans20, and it's from Women's Health Mag, actually, where Rory goes into a long explanation of, there were actually 15 men and women, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. And instead of everybody dating everybody, the way the show actually worked was, after every date, they would rate who they liked, so it kept getting pared down, so you started spending more and more time with the people you really liked, and the production actually wasn't equipped, again, this is from the article, equipped to handle so many people pairing and actually proposing. So he was one of the ones that got dropped by the wayside, went on to go on, like you said, a vacation with the girl, and it didn't end up working out. But that's interesting.
But imagine that, you do the experiment, you're going all right, and someone goes, all right, thank you, but we can't help you out here. Good luck.
Well, especially when you got multiple couples who just, pooped out right away, right?
Yeah. I mean, we did see one was it LC who walked away early on? We did get instances of people leaving. It's interesting that they didn't decide to show at least one other successful couple in the mix.
Who was it? Diamond, right? Am I making?
Diamond, right. Diamond and Carlton.
They got to the honeymoon and had to call it quits right away. So maybe Rory, it would have been a better story with them. They would have continued.
I'm so glad the article came out because we were saying, oh, where's Rory? It became a running joke, but we finally got some closure for Rory.
Justice for Rory. Maybe no justice for Rory because he ain't getting no airtime.
No, I'm saying.
Come back season 2.
Hey.
But I will say,
you should go with Jessica.
No,
I'm glad we got that Carlton and Diamond storyline because man, that was pretty.
Yeah,
it needed it.
That was a good, juicy drama to start off the season. So
a lot of good conversation around that.
Yeah, definitely. And people on Twitter and people who have been in our comments, thank you so much for being so opinionated and sharing your thoughts about this season. I'm so sad that it's coming to a close. And that leads us right into our predictions for the final episode of Love is Blind.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Ooh, guys. So I guess we'll start off with Giannina and Damien because we were left on a cliffhanger after Giannina recited her vows and committed to, I mean, they're already engaged, committed to staying married together or officially getting married. But Damien looks like he is shook.
He needs a shot. Like Jessica needed to be at this wedding and passing him a little flask or something. Calm down, Damien.
Maybe it's all editing, but he's going to pass out.
Yeah, really bad.
But is this a fake out? Does he say yeah?
Yeah.
He has to.
The whole
He has to.
He has to.
The whole episode, he has been all up on her. He's worried about what she's going to say. She's the firecracker. She's the unknown in this relationship. He is just bursting at the seams to be married to her. This is a complete fake out.
I agree.
All right. Well,
what do you think?
Well, I think...
Just try to give her the I'm just back from New York.
She's so
I don't
fake.
need to give my opinion. All the comments. Why are the guys attacking Christine?
No, you guys are probably right. He probably is going to say yes. And I say that also mainly because we started with them. Like, you can't have the first one say no. That's probably something they're going to leave towards the end if one of the couples say no.
If the first couple says no, do we automatically think they all say no just because of that? The first has to be successful?
Well, if they said no, that would have been cliffhanger. It'd have been no. What do you mean? Black. I think he has to say yes.
Well, the only reason... So I think he does too, but the only reason why maybe he says no is because the real question mark was her. So, if anything, why did they edit it with her answer first? That's weird.
That was also telling to me as well. The only reason, and another reason why is because we did get a brief preview to the finale, and we don't see who it is. I mean, I think it might end up being Jessica, but there was a blonde who was running away in a wedding dress and who seemed very upset about the idea. So it could be Giannina, could be Jessica. They're both blonde.
We're going to watch it in like 10 minutes.
I know. I'm not ruling that out completely. And we have yet to see Lauren and Cameron get to the altar, Mark and Jessica, Kelly and Kenny. Still not sure about those two, Amber and Barnett.
Anybody,
what are we thinking?
Any couples you guys think are for sure no's?
For sure knows?
Yeah. If we had to put money
Mark
down
and
right
Jessica. I say that's a no.
Okay. I was going to double down and be like, everyone gets married.
You think so?
Oh, you think everyone gets
I think everyone gets married.
I don't think so.
Who do you think doesn't get married?
Barnett and Amber for sure. I think it'd be really spicy, but I think the Giannina thing is a fake out. Cameron and Lauren, I think, are fine. They're going to come around. Mark and Jessica, they'll be a no. And maybe, I think you really brought this up, that Kelly and Kenny are going to be a surprise no.
I think they are.
Yeah.
Wow, no? Okay.
So maybe 3 out of 5 yeses?
Okay. You know what I predict might happen?
Go on.
And this is solely based off of the twist that I saw on The Bachelor this week. If you guys have noticed,
what twist?
None of the other couples were at each other's weddings so far, right? We didn't see anybody in Giannina's and Damien's wedding.
Right.
What if they have Amber and Barnett show up to Mark and Jessica's vows? Like, have them go first, show up at the wedding, and them being there, having said yes to each other, prompts Jessica to run out because she knows she can't have Barnett, and it's really over for good.
That's
what do you think?
How did you get that from what happened on The Bachelor this week?
Because they put the girls, they forced all of them to be in that situation and watch them go on those overnights with Peter.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
sorry to connect the thread.
That would be amazing.
If they do that, they have to have a therapist on site. There's no way you would drag Jessica out to watch Barnett get married. Oh my goodness!
But think about it. What if as each couple gets married, they show up to the next one? Like, what if this is all just in one wedding hall in Atlanta and they just have them keep going?
Is. Yeah. And then in Barnett's vows, he's like, I knew the entire time I spoke with every other girl in the pod, everyone, that they were wrong, dead wrong for me, and you were the only one that was just like twisted in there.
Yeah,
I mean,
what
a way to give Jessica even more of like cold feet and reason to run than that. Like seeing that right before she has to say yes to Mark. I don't know. It's gonna be juicy TV.
I want Jessica to find true love.
I do too. I really hope she does. But this was like a really bad detour on her way to finding
I think so.
the man of her dreams, girl. I hope you find him.
You will.
Stop giving your dog wine. Just don't.
Yeah, don't give your dog alcohol. That's true.
But
I think she's gonna be fine after this show. There are going to be plenty of men her age who are interested and be sliding in the DMs.
And some
she's gonna be good. She's gonna be good. Yeah, that too. And older.
And older.
Smorgasbord of guys.
So maybe Love is Blind season 2. Maybe Love in real life outside of the show. Maybe a crossover and she'll join The Bachelor.
Spin-offs
You never
abound.
know.
Love is Blind in Paradise.
Love is Blind in Paradise. Or maybe she'll be like, let me try Married at First Sight and do it the other way.
That's right, the other way around. That's
like
right.
Ouroboros.
That'd be
These are just the
amazing.
shows with each other.
Cut to
I
the
would
chase.
love some of these crossovers of all the shows I cover. That'd be really fun.
No, where is Nick Lachey? I'm just saying.
And then a wrestler comes in. Yeah, thank you. What happened to Nick and Vanessa Lachey?
Help me out here.
Yeah, you would think that they would be at this very important moment. Instead, we got a really good officiant come in and just kind of do their hosting jobs for them.
I mean,
she kind of slid in the "Is Love Really Blind" in between their like vow recital, and I was like, "Girl,
they better be in the finale." Well, they're executive producers, I guess, right?
I guess.
I mean, if I'm executive producer, I'm going to be in it a lot more than that. Get on the show, you guys. You deserve it.
Yeah.
But to say what? They just have these like long-winded monologues of like, "Is it really true?" It's like, come on, you're just like repeating the obvious.
I mean, because this should have been like Nick Lachey coming in when the guys are about to get ready and give them a pep talk. And same with Vanessa.
Right.
Go give the girls a pep talk. Get in there.
He's been married a couple times.
Let's get the star power.
They need to get some hosting lessons from Chris Harrison, maybe. You know?
Oh,
that might
best
do
job
the
ever.
job. You know? Well, that about wraps it up for episode 9 of Love is Blind. We are on the edge of our seats to see whether or not Damien says yes, and if they go all the way. And all the other couples, they have yet to walk down the aisle together.
Can't wait.
And I cannot wait to break it down with you guys. So keep it locked to this channel. We are going to be going live. Well, not going live, but you'll see our recap for episode 10 as soon as we're done with it. All right, guys. Where can everyone find you until next time?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at FlomoBoys, on Instagram at FloBito, of course, FloBito.com.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out and watching us. All the comments. We're going to be taping the finale right after this, so it's probably going to post almost at the same time. We're excited to see what happens. My name is Mike Feeling. Find me everywhere at Mike Feeling.
Yes, I am so excited to see how this all shakes up. My name is Christine Alexis, and you can find me on Twitter at Christine Bean and on Instagram at Christina Alexis. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.